welcome to another episode. Keeping it orange and blue. Ryan Evan Schroet joined by Mr. Ducey, Urbana's finest, Kevin Ducey. How are you, man? How are you after your surgery?
I'm good, man. You can say Urbana's finest when your Decatur punk ass St. Teresa boys beat my Urbana boys over the weekend, but that's all right. It's okay. Just knowing 1995, us Urbana Tigers would have beat the dog shit out of Decatur St. T. I'm just saying that.
That was, by the way, Britt Miller, St. Teresa Bulldogs.
Not 95.
No.
Oh, he's an Eisenhower kid, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in Eisenhower. Yeah, he was.
No.
Hold on.
He's coaching.
Yes, he graduated 2 years in front of me. I went to Decatur MacArthur. Britt was at Decatur Eisenhower. He played linebacker and quarterback. Yeah, took him to the playoffs.
Heck yeah.
5-4 playing quarterback. So yes, I'm definitely going to give him. But what was the score, by the way, of that?
40-8. But hey, Urbana hasn't fielded a team. Last year was the first year, I think, in 3 years that they had fielded the team. So it's
yeah, I was gonna say they had to quit the team.
A friend of mine, her kid is a quarterback. We went to high school together. Shawnee, big shout out, Shawnee Yeti. Her son's hell of an athlete there. Sticking it out at Urbana. Really good basketball player as well as a quarterback. So shout out to my boy B-Mac, Brandon McFarland, who's got the baseball team kind of trying to turn around. And we still got a little pride in that town, but it's a little frustrating that Urbana athletics are so bad because we had a ton of really good athletes, especially when I was in school. And I've been, my dad went to school there. My brother's 11 years older than me. He went to school there. So it's just generational for me. So it's just something I care about, and I'll always care about, even though I don't live there anymore. But I would like to see Urbana be better. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt. My MacArthur Generals slapped around the Mattoon Green Wave 47-6 over the weekend.
The biggest win my senior year was over Mattoon. I think we beat them 54-0.
And seeing former MacArthur sophomore already, Myson Johnson Cook playing for DeSoto, who already scoring touchdowns for them, who they just beat the Georgia 5A state champions like 48-0 or something. Like, it's just wild to the level of.
That's a grown-ass man out there playing football as a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, and let me tell you, and that's the thing, too, to play at that level and to be that productive and that skilled and all that stuff, it's impressive as heck. And he told me, though, Illinois is still there for him, and he plans on visiting them as he gets older and goes. He may end up going to, Alabama, Georgia, something like that, but I think he's still going to give Illinois at least a visit. Like he said that they were on him before anybody, even when he was, world-class track athlete at 8th grader, and all the other schools knew about that. But, of course, he lived in central Illinois, so Illinois was on him first. And then everybody else got. We may have a visitor tonight on the get. We just might have one pop up, and if we're in the middle of talking about something and he does pop up, like right now, we're gonna just jump to that, and we're gonna do that right now.
So my son is he's 27 kid, right?
My son's 27. Yep.
Well, that's kind of cool. Since Chris Miller chimed in, I wanted to let him know Illinois is hot on the trails of a 2027 recruit, Cameron Wagner from St. Joe, a sophomore kid there, who hopefully will fill the shoes of our big fella, the priest, who baptizes us with his presence today. What's up, Melvin? How are you, my man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful.
We're glad it worked out, Melvin. We're glad it worked out. So, so obviously everybody who's watching, we're live right now on. So we're glad to have you, Melvin. I know you've got a hell of a story, and we kind of want to talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
But as we get into that first, how was it playing in your first, game in Champaign, bright lights, night game, starting at Illinois, a lot closer back to home and family and all that? How was that? Just that experience?
Everything, it was great. I came from a swag school. It was a great opportunity to be on no big lights. To show off my talents. You know, I've been dreaming for opportunity like this. Now I'm like living it. So like it is just a great. It's just awesome. You know.
Hey, Melvin, I want to share something with you. So one of the things that we heard about you coming into Illinois, um, a lot of penalties last year, and I'm not
Hmm.
dogging on you, man. Like football, like I think people who never played the game don't get it. Football is an emotional game. You show me somebody who doesn't play football emotionally, you're going to show me somebody who doesn't see the field. The hard part is keeping it between the whistle. One of the things I was so impressed with you is like we heard that you're a guy who like you're physical, like you're a tough dude out there, and you sent a couple boys to confession, but you did it. You did it within the whistle. You did it within the whistle, man. That touchdown, Josh McCray. You baptized the old poor boy, man. He might have made Sports Center top 10 on that one, man. It sounded like a gun went off. So, hey, kudos to you for
Appreciate
you
that.
know channeling like who you are as a right tackle. Right tackle is a physical position, and channeling it between the lines. And the only thing it's a rarity. You know this, we only heard Melvin Priestley's name said on the broadcast in a positive manner, and that does not happen often for offensive linemen. Your counterpart on the other side, J.C. Davis. I watched the game; he played a great game. The only time the fans heard his name on the broadcast was when I got a holding against number 74. We did not hear that against you. So a unbelievable first game. Love having you on board. Love having a physical, nasty, aggressive right tackle for the Illini, especially a young man from East St. Louis. So, hey, Melvin, quick question for you. I know I rambled on. I was just giving you your flowers there a little bit. So you're an East St. Louis kid. Did you Illinois? Did you guys have any interest? Like, was there mutual interest with you coming out of high school, or what happened with you ended up going to Grambling?
To be honest, I had some. I would. I started going to Cape camps late. Um, in like my sophomore year, I got a offer, unofficial offer from Iowa State.
Okay.
So then I turned my ACL, so things are kind of slow for me. Then like of course like I lost my parents and things, so like I was going to do like some off the field things. Like so my offers kind of slowed down. But I was committed to Arkansas State, but that fell through. Then I got an opportunity at Grambling. I just took it.
And you know what though? So there's and at the end of the day, football's football, and you're going to get noticed wherever you go. Perfect example. Look at Gentle Hunt. He was at Florida A&M,
Hmm.
and so and what's great about this, and there's Grambling is a prestigious program. All those years of just the Eddie Robinson
Robinson. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, the Eddie Robinson Classics and all that stuff. Now at Illinois, with what was it that Brett Bielema and Bart Miller loved about your game? Is it just your nasty side? Because that's what they tell me. Well, that's what I've been told is that everybody loves that you bring that nastiness to the offensive line. Is that kind of what you get it taken from it?
You kind of asked me two questions, but I answer the first one.
All right.
Coach B. Um, to be honest, Coach B, that's a great person. Well, I made a choice because like I trust his process. He kind of bought me with we to be a good football team, we need to be able to run the ball late in the season, and I believe that to the fullest. And like that's the family vibe, everything about him. Like he a man of his word. Like if he say something, he gonna actually do it. We was home visit. He came out when I was staying in Grambling to my apartment, and we ate some. We broke bread together, and it was just like great conversation. Like, and you can get a sense the person just like telling you stuff to tell it. That wasn't him. Everything he said, like he meant it. And everything he said, like he doing it now. Then like, and what I really liked about him, like when I was getting recruited, like of course I had a lot of offers out of the portal. A lot of people was just telling me what I did good. He was telling me like, I don't like you doing that, but I know Coach Miller can get you better in this. So and I just felt like he was just being honest with me. As a man, you want somebody gonna be real with you. You know, like if you need to step up, if you're not performing, you know, however you're doing. So that was attached me to coach. I mean, why I really made this big decision to come to University of Illinois.
How much did now? My understanding is like that. Uh, Coach B came down there and had breakfast with you, right? It was like early. Y'all went to, like had breakfast, right?
Yeah, it was like breakfast and lunch. It was like brunch. Yeah.
All right. Hey, pancakes will always get me. I don't know about you. Hey, that being said, it's got to be pretty cool. You got guys on this team that you've probably known for a while, correct? Guys you played with
Yeah.
in high school, guys you played against in high school. Did that factor in? I mean, and who are some of the guys on the team? I'm thinking off the top of my head like JoJo Hayden, Brandon Henderson. There's got to be some
Yeah.
more, right?
What's so crazy? I got a funny story. My first camp I ever went to, one of our offensive line was there, TJ McMillan, and I
Oh
straight ain't
yes.
know him. And I ain't know Brandon sent the picture to the group chat and be like, man, look what I just seen. And that was crazy. It just showed me how small the world is. And yeah, of course, I went to camp with a lot of people, a lot of players on the team. And like what you said, Brandon Henderson, JoJo Hayden. Um, yeah, I played football with them. Them my little brothers, them my brothers. You know, I had a relationship with them before I got up here. Of course, that was a big another reason. You know, I was talking to them in that process. So, of course,
You graded out very well against Eastern. You were one of the. I think you and J.C. Davis were 1 and 2 on the offensive line. What do you see from week 1 to week 2 that
I'm
maybe
sorry, grade out and what?
Pro
play
Football Focus.
pro football focus? Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, so Pro Football Focus takes into consideration all kinds of things. But you obviously were up there, and we watched the whole game. So I mean, I think that was pretty apparent. But what do you take from game 1 to game 2 in your process of just trying to improve each game? Obviously with the competition getting
Yeah.
better next week against Kansas.
For sure, for sure. I take a lot. You know, like that was awesome. I got me and JC got a high grade on what it called, the PFF.
Yep, PFF. Yep,
Yeah,
Pro Football Focus. Yep,
yeah, that's awesome. You know, to be honest, I didn't see it. You know, I don't be trying to get in all that. You
that's
know,
good.
Smart,
but
smart.
That's good.
but I gotta take a, like the small things. Like I ain't really look at what I did good. I'm looking at where I like what I gotta get better at. You know, week by week, step by step. You know, we ain't trying to overlook nobody. Um, Just do what, just me and JC. Just do what we gotta do just to make our name, make a name. You know, yeah, that's it for real. Like I'm really looking at what I gotta do better. You know, how can I take this step better? How can I kill step better? How can I get back? How can I use my hands and things like that? But I'm just trying to get better every day, week by week. You know, yes, we on to Kansas. That's a rematch game. And I think I think we ready.
Yeah.
Hey, so Melvin, you've got a reputation I'd be proud of if I was you. That you're a nasty guy in the football field, right? And
Yeah.
hey, listen, there's a big difference between being a nasty guy on the football field and being a nasty person, right? You put that helmet on, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
And I respect the hell out of that. Who else on the offensive line? Like, if we had to choose somebody, like who else has who's got that edge to them on the offensive line that's up there with yours?
Like I won't just like single myself out because I ain't this type of player. Like I'm a team player. I think everybody got an edge, but like
Okay,
who stick out a lot is Josh Crooch, because like he kind
I've
of
heard that. That's
smaller.
what I thought you were going.
Yeah, like he kind of small and he got that edge. Like then, and one thing about him, like he an awesome leader. He very vocal. And another thing, when we had a meeting, and he brought up edge, like we need to have an edge about us. So that's who he is. He played with a chip on his shoulder. Josh Cruz, he aggressive gun, yeah.
Love it.
Having a dad that played so many years in the NFL helps for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
Especially Olin was an undersized center in the NFL too. Like, so he had to play with a bit of edge and nastiness to him too. So
For sure.
And you got to, and we're showing love to your, your roommate Chrysler, Zy Chrysler to your left. I mean, he's improved a lot too, and we're happy to see him being healthy. Now, my last question for you, Melvin, is how big this Kansas game? Obviously, it's a rematch game. You mentioned that. How big of a focal point has that been for the guys? You didn't get to experience it, but not necessarily getting embarrassed, but it kind of was ugly for a little bit. Has there been some discussion about, hey, we remember last year and we're gonna set this record straight?
Yeah, of course. Like you said, I wasn't here, but like I've been here, put blood, sweat, and tears with the other four side of me, and the people was here. Like I'm taking like I was here. Of course, we lost. Like Coach Lunny said, like this not a revenge game, just a rematch game. They beat us last year. They won, and we just got something to prove, and I just can't wait to Saturday and see what we do, cause I got a team full of dogs, and they just I got a team with me and just ready, we just ready to work and put this past us, we take it week by week, step by step, day by day,
Yeah, and you've got a couple 200, like 40, 50-pound running backs running behind you. Like, you better open up a hole. Them some big boys running up your back if the hole ain't there.
Yeah.
That's got to be nice, right? That's got to be nice for an offensive lineman to have some big boys behind you like that, right?
Yeah, for sure. We got a freshman, number 5,
he's
Khalil
special.
Valentine.
He's special.
He's special.
I was actually going to ask you that, Melvin. Who's somebody that the Illinois Nation is going to see here, and maybe not this year, maybe next year. Like, who's special? Like, who might we not know about yet that pops out to you on the field?
Joe Barner. Got a couple guys. We got a lot of guys. Joe Barner.
That dude's only 19 years old. You kidding me?
Yeah, he nice. Brandon Henderson.
Yes.
Brandon Henderson. Hanson. I'm sorry.
What about how's our boy Hunter Whitenack? You like Hunter?
Yeah, Hunter. In meeting room, he sit right next to me. Hunter. Man, Hunter real close.
Yep.
He keeps everybody laughing, right?
You said what?
He keeps everybody laughing, doesn't he? And he like the
he's funny. He cracks little jokes.
I mean, it's nice having guys like Anderson and Fagan who could probably be O linemen in another life, but running the ball. When you watch those highlights of Fagan running the ball,
I'm telling him, I'm showing this to him.
Yeah, you should, and that's a compliment to run 22 miles an hour and be 250 pounds. So you have anything else, Kev, before we let Melvin go?
I just want to say one thing, Melvin. We didn't get a chance to talk to you about this and you mentioned it briefly, but we talked a lot about football. I had the pleasure of reading your article that Joey Wagner wrote about.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, man, appreciate you. Like, your resiliency, your toughness, it's just really impressive to me. My father always told me, he said, "Hey, son, the true mark of a man isn't whether or not you get knocked down. It's whether or not you get back up. Because every man's going to get knocked down. Not every man's going to get up. Yeah. You got knocked down when you were a kid. Like, and for you to be here, I just want to tell you, like, I am a huge fan of Melvin Priestley, the man. And I hope that you make all your dreams come true, because what you have been through, and for you to be here, like, I don't care what school you were playing for. If I read this article, I'd be a fan of the man. And I'm a fan of the man beyond the football player. And I just wish you well. I wish you health. I wish you prosperity, and just keep fighting and honoring the legacy of the people that loved you, that can't be here with you, man. And I know like I said, we didn't get into it. It's probably get a little emotional, but just, man, I'm pulling for you. That's all I got to say, man. I'm just pulling for you.
I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And I want you to hear from a couple of Illinois fans before we let you go. This is Justin says, I'm going to post it on here so you can see it. It says, great game, Melvin. I think I speak on behalf of Illini Nation. We're really excited for the game versus Kansas. Stay hungry, my guy, and let's keep stacking W's. And then Colton, you probably know Colton, Tickets for Kids, says, great game. Yep, great game, Melvin. Also want to thank everyone who has supported Tickets for Kids. And I want to make it clear, Melvin, too, we're all rooting for you. We're proud of you. And you are exclusively with SCC and Jason Givens, and we appreciate him allowing you to come on to this podcast. And we root for you and nothing best for the success of this program and for you, my friend. So thank you for coming on here.
All right, appreciate that. This was a great interview. A lot of our fans, we love y'all. We're gonna keep stacking W's, and we're gonna do what we gotta do.
Hey, kick Kansas' ass. Watch what Melvin. You're gonna see something that none of these guys, none of them have seen, dude. I'm telling you, I'm 46 years old. I've been in that building. Y'all ain't never seen nothing like it. Beat Kansas and find out what happens in that building going forward. It'll be like nothing y'all have ever seen, man. And it's not your fault. It's the fans' fault. But y'all beat Kansas. Watch what happens, man.
I'm telling you, the fans.
Watch what happens going forward, my man.
I'm telling you, that place it's going to be packed on Saturday. It was a nice crowd against Eastern. It's going to be packed, and it's going to be even louder than that cannon was, Melvin. Okay. That cannon is like way too loud, by the way. But yeah, it's gonna be rowdy Saturday.
I look forward to hearing it at the Michigan game. I live in Oklahoma now. I'm coming up for the Michigan game, so I'll be there for that one. And I'll see you in Nebraska, my man. I'm right behind the bench, so I'll holler at you.
All right.
All right, Melvin. Thank you, man.
All right, have a good one.
God bless. Yep.
Hey, stay safe, stay healthy.
Well, I'm glad to have Melvin on, and I'm glad we got to share all that. Yeah, and thanks again, Jason, for letting him have him come on. You know,
hey, and I know I said it before. If I'm not there's certain people. Just read the article Joey Wagner wrote on him. It's phenomenal. It goes into Melvin's story, his history about getting here. Like he's a resilient young man, and it's just you pull for a kid like that. Him and Mario Sanders both. So
yeah.
We didn't get a chance to get too much into that, and maybe we'll talk about it down the line.
And I think that's good though, because at the end of the day, we just want everyone to know that he's been through hell and he's back.
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the day, that's all you need to know. I think the fact that there are other ways to hear the real details, but I don't think he needs to relive all that probably either.
No, probably not in an interview. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm getting emotional talking about it, and I didn't live through it, so.
Yeah, and thanks. We appreciate all you guys that are tuning in. And if for Melvin's sake, if you guys want to retweet this, we appreciate that. I'll make sure I tag him in it and all that good stuff. So we appreciate you guys and just hearing him and talking to him. He's an awesome dude to root for. And he didn't want to come out and say it, but let me tell you, I know it. He helps make that line nasty. Him and Kreutz, they are dogs. You know what I mean? Like they're the kind of guys that you want on your side. You know,
I mean, he graded out the highest on the entire team from an offensive line standpoint. And Brandon Henderson.
It's great that he doesn't know what PFF is. That's good.
Because I don't think they give a shit. Like, I mean, just be honest with you. Like, I mean, and I think the numbers look right. Like, so I mean, I think there's some room for improvement on the offensive line, but I think the offensive line played a really good game. And we're worried about him. One of the things against Melvin coming into Illinois, I think he had 15 penalties last year, and half of those holds and half of those post whistle penalties. Like, he's a guy that pushes the limit. Frankly, I want a guy that does that. I want a guy like a Tony Pachos, who when Kurt Kittner gets hit by a Louisville guy, he runs into the pile and knocks the crap out of a guy. I want a guy like that. I think you need that on an offensive line. I think we probably have missed that on the offensive line. Julian Pearl, Isaiah Adams, great players, not that guy. And so it's nice to have a guy like Melvin there. Glad he could grace us with our presence. But Ryan, I think we need to talk a little bit about Eastern and Kansas.
Yes, that's what we're doing. We're going to do a quick little EIU breakdown, and then we're going to preview Kansas, when I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And I would have had someone on here tonight to help us preview Kansas, but personally, when I got offered the chance to have Melvin on the show, I was like, we're going to do that. So that was a no-brainer for me. So really quickly, I'll give my brief thoughts. I was at the game. I don't know if you guys were able to watch my 7-minute video, Kevin, just about my experience at the game, my takeaways briefly. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I'll give you about 30 seconds and then talk about the game. I love the player intros to start the game, Kevin. They're doing NFL player intros now, which means the whole team runs out except the starters. Then the starters get their own pyro, okay? Their name up on the board, and everybody's clapping for them individually, and they can do whatever they want. There's a new cannon that sounds like literally you're in Gettysburg, and someone lit a cannon, and it's so loud, and I only feel bad. I felt bad for the Eastern fans because they put it right in front of the opposing fans, and it's so loud. It's obnoxiously loud. Like, I was in the colonnade section and like maybe towards like the 20-yard line of the opposite. So literally it's the entire field diagonally from me. It startles you out of your seat every time it's shot.
Even when do they fire it?
After every touchdown or field goal. So 8 times it got shot off against Eastern. And let me tell you, a couple times I was mid-drink, and I was like, and it just startles you. But it's great, though, because Illinois is scoring.
Hey, were you having your glass of warm water when you got startled there?
No.
In your orthopedic shoes, Grandma?
It was old.
It's too loud at a football game.
It was actually Pepsi, but yeah.
Didn't have Mountain Dew? Didn't have Mountain Dew for you?
No Mountain Dew. I changed it up. But yeah, and it was miserable humidity for the first hour, and it was okay though because we were sweating success, and it was fun though. And I told the people next to me who were so sick of sweating they had to go inside the colonnades to the AC, and I told the 2 ladies next to me when they got up, these guys are out here in pads and helmets in this. I'm like, and we can't just sit here and sweat to watch them play. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. So they didn't really like that too well, but I was just letting them know, it's kind of reality. Now to the game. It's always a great time when you give up no points. There were a couple drives that Eastern got into near the red zone. And maybe we would have given up a field goal, but you get turnovers, which is key. 2 big ones in the red zone area. A big fumble recovery, some nice stripping of the football. You had some really great pass interceptions, one by Miles Scott over, it's kind of a 2 deep type of interception where he
just baited the shit out of the quarterback.
But how about that Torrey Cox screen interception though?
I think it was more of a terrible throw.
Well, it was probably combo because Terry read it the whole way, though.
He absolutely did. I just had no idea where the quarterback was going with the ball. The screenplay was completely obliterated. I forgot which D lineman immediately dropped into coverage. I think it might have been Yakis because I was watching Yakis a lot because Yakis played a lot of D line early, and he read that right off the jump. But what was a nice play is how aggressive and how fast Cox's reactions were to jump up and make that play. And unfortunately, the lineman, I think it was number 68, got his hands into him in the middle of the air. Also doing a pick 6.
Oh, hold on a sec, Kev. Just shots fired. And Kev outed Illini covering, but we can discuss that on Fade the Deuce.
You can discuss a guy who keeps winning all you want on Fade the Deuce. I don't care.
Yeah, we don't need to discuss it on Fade the Deuce. We can talk here because I told him blatantly.
Let's talk what I said on Fade the Deuce because I think it rolls right into here and where I was really impressed with this team is I was really concerned about the defensive line. I was really concerned about MJ Flowers getting his flowers against us. I was concerned, and that's a good running back. Like you, Ryan, you spoke about it last week when we had Dan on the show. Yep. He was the runner-up for the Jerry Rice Award, which is the top freshman in FCS. Dude, there were no running lanes for him. Like EIU had a couple nice run plays in a game of 50, 60 snaps, like 2 or 3 of plays that were like, okay. And dude, our defensive line played really, really well. And I was pretty shocked at it. I was Yakis played some
remember the whole depth, the defensive line depth issues.
Right. And Yakis played some D line and then he moved out. And I thought Alex Bray played well. Jeremiah Warren played early. Angelo McCollum got some snaps.
Dennis Briggs was a steadying presence in there.
100%. T-Rod Edwards and Dennis Briggs were like, you can count on those guys. And now it's fine. Ezekiel Holmes was really good as well. There were some questions though. I don't know. Did Hunt play?
I didn't see him technically. I'm actually going to watch a replay of the game tonight. Bits and pieces of it, but when you're watching,
Sledge got in late and ran back up nose.
There's some fun things that we can talk about the defense here. So Torrey Cox told everybody he was a dog, was going to play. He proved me right. Surprising though, we talked Caleb Patterson. Okay, we said okay, he's getting first team reps, but they're paying Brooks good money. He's going to start. What I love about Brett Bielema now is he's holding these guys accountable. It doesn't matter what we're paying you. If you don't have the attitude we want, if you are getting outworked by a guy in practice, Caleb Patterson, then you're not going to start. And I just want you guys to all know this. Listen to Brett Bielema's press conference at the end of the game. The very last question was about Terrence Brooks. And his exact quote was, "We love what Brooks can bring to the field. And as he is here longer and gets more acclimated to what we do here, and when he goes about things the right way, he's going to play more. And we expect that. And we know that'll happen." What does that sound like to you, Kev?
It sounds like a guy who probably didn't have his best week of practice from an effort standpoint. Illinois, and there's another guy who's going to probably fit in that as well, who wasn't asked. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he's my guy. Kanena Odeluga didn't play.
That's what I was like, was he hurt? He was on the sideline though.
He was on the sideline. He was dressed. We got Zardzin played, Hood played, Meade played. Like he didn't see the field. I think it was the same thing. I think it probably was an effort and practice thing in a game that Illinois won handily. That Bielema could say, "Hey, listen, Aaron Henry, those guys don't need to play that much today if we have our druthers." And that, you know what? Good on them. And this is what I talked about. I talked about in our article. You can do that in certain positions at Illinois this year. Inside linebacker is probably one of them. Secondary is without a doubt one of them. Wide receiver is without a doubt one of them. And running backs without a doubt one of them. And those guys happen to be playing. And I am not sitting here on this show claiming that I think that Terrence Brooks or Kanena Odeluga mailed it in practice. But I'm telling you, that's my best educated guess is that they didn't have the best week of practice leading up to game time.
Or at least they got outworked. How about that?
Or they got outworked. Yeah, fair enough. Because I think they're both too good of athletes to not see the field as much as they probably should have.
And I can tell you what was the great quote from Bobby Knight here. And, you may have not liked him. I love that interview he gave. I think it was in the late 80s. He said, "There's nothing more motivating to a player than your ass on the bench."
In the time. Yep.
He said, "Your ass meets bench. And guess what? Bench communicates to brain. Do what you need to do." I guarantee you Kanena Odeluga is going to have a lot better week of practice. I think he's too strong. He's too physical. You're going to need him, I think, obviously at some point this year. And it's great that we've got depth there, the younger depth. Barna had a sack, right?
Oh, dude, when he stuck that Eastern lineman, and guys, I want you to understand something here. Like, I'm not saying that this Eastern lineman is a Big Ten quality left tackle, but that dude's 320 pounds. He's stuck, and that's what they call it, a stick. When you can get your offhand or your inside hand and you can jam it and stick him. And for him to, it just was incredible. Like for a 19-year-old to hold that point of attack like that was truly impressive. And I think that Barna is going to be someone to watch for going forward with this team. And the defense is the biggest thing I take away from this. I think that they played phenomenal. I think, hey, listen, I think we're all shitting our pants a little bit on Eastern's first drive. And we're like, dude, honestly, that's what I thought we were going to see most of the game because I was worried about our defensive line. And I'm sorry, but my boy Aaron Henry made some adjustments. That team adjusted. That team did some things to ensure that didn't happen. And it only happened one other time the rest of the game. They got loose on a play. Dylan Rosiak came in, punched the ball out. We got a turnover as well. So that's what good defenses do. I thought Matt Bailey was phenomenal. He was everywhere. I think we got a lot of guys that can clean some stuff up. I think Kansas is going to shine a light on some of those areas that we need to clean up. And then the offense was just super steady, Ryan. It was just steady. They just could do what we kind of wanted to do. Like we kept a lot of stuff in the bag.
Yep.
We threw the ball deep twice all night, and both of them were for touchdowns, if I recall correctly.
Oh, and let me tell you, how good was that Pat Bryant catch?
The Pat Bryant catch was phenomenal. The throw to Elsie was like
the throw. Okay,
it's out of a movie.
They're both amazing throws. I'm going to say that first. The catch Elsie made was a good catch. That was one, though, that you would think a good receiver is going to bring down most of the time.
I think a high-level high school receiver is going to make
yes, but the Pat Bryant catch, the footwork.
It was incredible.
That was NFL caliber catch. That was not an easy one.
The thing about it was they showed there were some video highlights of Altmaier's throw to Elsie on that pass, and it was, everything about it was perfect. Perfect positioning, perfect spiral. It was just pretty. And don't get me wrong, the throw to Bryant was just as good. It just didn't have the same aesthetics. But Bryant's footwork was incredible. 2 touchdowns in his first game of the season. He could challenge for the school record, which is 10. Brandon Lloyd and my homeboy David Williams.
And that's a hell of a start for Luke Altmaier. 24 is the season record, I believe. Kirk Kittner's got it. He's already got 4 in one game, Luke Altmaier. So, so offensively, it was nice to see Lawfrey get the first series. You saw Fagan get the second series. Then McCray got the third series. We got to see some Jordan Anderson's first snap of the game was a false start. His first snap of his career was a false start on the goal line. But you know what I loved was watching the setup to that. You had Fagan and Anderson together in the backfield. Now tell me, that's double trouble right there. That's the twin towers coming at you.
I love it. I think we ran Fagan and Lawfrey and we didn't do anything with this. We just ran some looks. Yeah, we certainly ran Fagan and Lawfrey because we ran Lawfrey on that pitch, and Fagan was lead blocking for him. And I think if Aiden Lawfrey would have hit the turbo button instead of trying to read blocks and just jetted up the sideline with his speed, he might have taken it to the house. But I think he was trying to be the smart football player. But it was really nice to see. I think Lenny got a little bit creative, and there's some more in the bag for what's going forward with this team. Hey, all in all, they did exactly what they needed to against Eastern and then some.
And here's another thing, too, for people. Yes, take it with a grain of salt, but I want you to look around. Idaho is an FCS team, by the way. I just want everybody to know that. So
27. Kirk.
Yeah, 27. All right, but Idaho is an FCS team. I want everybody to know that. So just for you to say, oh, it's Eastern, it's just a good FCS team. Yeah, well, guess what? Idaho is just a good FCS team. And they gave Oregon all they wanted, okay? So I just want people to know that. So just because it's an FCS team, don't say, it doesn't matter if it wasn't really a good team.
Hey, I walk out of this week feeling a lot better than Minnesota does. I walk out of this week feeling better than Michigan State does. I walk out of this week feeling better than
Indiana, probably, yeah.
No, Indiana handled their business.
I
definitely walk out. Oregon,
so many penalties, dude. Their coach is pissed. Yeah.
But just off a one-game performance, I'm probably walking out of this feeling better than Michigan or Oregon.
Yep.
I'm not saying we're going to have a better season or we're a better team than any of those guys, but after our week 1 performance, I'm kind of like, yeah.
And guess what? I'm doing a week 1 or a week 2 power rankings for Mike Farrell. And guess what? Illinois is going to be really high on that one. and it's only based off of opponent and performance. It's not it's not, oh, well, one's an FCS team and one isn't. But if you look like crap and you won, guess what? You're not going to be in the top 10 probably. So I just feel like that's fair. Needed Bryant and Elsie to show those catches to free up Franklin this week. Yep. Yeah. And that touchdown that Franklin got taken away, man, from inside the stadium, Kev, we couldn't figure out why it wasn't a touchdown.
He bobbled the ball.
I thought he attached it to his leg before he.
No, but by the time he attached it to his hip, he was out of bounds.
Okay, man.
And it was pretty clear watching on the TV broadcast that was the case. Not initially. At first, you're like, dude, that should have been a touchdown. And then you're like, I see it. But hey, listen, it's a hell of a catch regardless. The guy caught the ball. He just didn't happen to do it in bounds. And I think that's critical for Illinois fans to understand is like that's a skill unto itself. That is, Zachary Franklin has a lot of skills. I think the only thing I was frustrated with from an Illinois offensive standpoint is our first pass of the game, that out from Altmaier to Franklin. Tough throw for to develop a rhythm, especially after running the ball a couple times. So I'm really excited about this game though, Ryan. And I meant what I said to Melvin. Like, I think this will be the best crowd we've seen since North Carolina. We're going to have some breaks pop our way. I think they're a really good football team. They're a really good offensive football team. They beat an FCS school by 45, just like we did. I probably would bet on Eastern to beat Lindenwood.
Yeah, and they did last year. Lindenwood, I'm going to be honest. It's kind of hard to gauge, like, oh, well, Lindenwood's a bad FCS team. Eastern's a good FCS team. But I think it matters, too, to agree that, you know, if you're Illinois, probably prepped against a better team. And Kansas may not have shown a lot, but I can tell you what, they ran the ball a ton because there was no resistance. That Lindenwood defensive line had no resistance. You know, I think, what do you think of the line? It was 6.5, right? I saw Circa's got it at 3.
It's probably where I expected it coming into the game, and I don't think it'll move much. We'll certainly regroup on Tuesday night and see if it does for Fade the Deuce. But my guess is by Tuesday night, it's not going to move much. Now, that being said, Fade the Deuce on Wednesday night. It's the power of our show that Matt and I were so heavily on Illinois in the over that the over moved up to 48.5 on Thursday morning. I'm kidding. There are actual shows out there that do move lines. We certainly do not. But it was interesting to see that the line moved up to 48.5. Bagan, I think that they moved up to D1 in basketball. I don't think they're D1 in football. They're still FCS school in football. So no, listen, Jalen Daniels. That's what you're gonna have to. He's a really, really athletic quarterback. He is going to change the whole dynamic of what, like, obviously Eastern did not see any of that. Illinois is going to have to execute Illinois' game plan if we want to win this football game.
Which is what, maybe rush 3?
I don't know. No, I don't believe that's the case. But I think we're going to have to stop the run, and we're going to have to run the ball effectively.
Oh, yeah. And
I think we're going to have to win third down on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. I think do we agree this is probably both going to be a decently high-scoring game, you think?
Yeah, I can see something like 34-28, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think Illinois is going to be able to move the ball. I think Illinois is going to be able to move the ball. Hell, they moved the ball in the second half last year, you know? And so there is going to be plenty of familiarity. Remember this, folks. Kansas didn't have Jalen Daniels more than one game after last year, after he played against Illinois. Like, he played one more game, and then his back gave out on him, and he didn't play in the Texas game, and he didn't play the rest of the year. So we saw Jalen Daniels last year. You kind of know what you're getting. He made some wild plays in the backfield and made some wild connections. You know, some of those are dangerous, though. What did Illinois learn from that? How much can the Illinois atmosphere, the crowd, play into this game, which I think it can, you know? And Illinois taking the wind out of their sails with ball control offense I think can help too. So
Illinois's got to keep this game close early on. A little bit of chance of rain on Friday. Oh, excuse me, Saturday. So it's Saturday, not Friday. I keep doing that. I keep thinking we're playing Friday because we're playing. But the weather looks phenomenal on Saturday. I mean, it just looks absolutely stunning.
What's it calling for Saturday?
High of 70, low of 44. So it might be a little chilly at game time.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Little light wind. Yeah, and like Nate Durst says, we got to control the time of possession, try and keep Kansas's offense off the field, keep our defense fresh. Pop Daniels when you get a chance, he will move. When we get a tip ball up in the air, you got to pick it off. You got to do those little things. I think Illinois can win this game. I really do. I see something, like I said, a 34-28 game, 34-31. I don't think they're going to be able to slow down our offense. I don't think their defense is that good. I think their offense is really good, and I think that's why our defense may struggle in spots is because of how good their offense is. But one thing that we do have that we didn't have last year is we got the flexibility to rotate DBs if they're gassed.
Yeah.
We clearly are not relying on one guy, number 4, or to wreak havoc on defense. We got other guys that can come in and do it.
There's a guy too that I think could come into play that he wears number 7 on defense.
7.
Yeah.
He was the best player on the football field on Saturday night on both sides of the ball. I don't care what anybody says. Like, dude, he just announces his presence with authority, dude. He is a really, really good football player.
And so remember, Illinois did not have him last year either in the Kansas game. So there's plenty going on into Illinois' favor, in my opinion. While it's just in the past, we go into some of these games and we're like, we're going to do it. We're just going to win somehow. It's just going to happen. I think there's plausible, explanations as to why you should pick Illinois to cover and to win. This is going to be an interesting one. But I feel like there's just something about this team. The line's got some swagger. The O-line definitely does. I think the defense is going to be better just because there's more experience and more depth, especially in the secondary. And we're seeing young depth at the line positions, but also just having Matthew Bailey back too.
Yeah, and the Scott brothers back there, obviously not related, but like that's huge.
Like from the Steel, let's think about this. For the Steelers' sake, they had a safety.
Troy Polamalu,
man. Were they worse without that guy on the field, right?
Right. There's a level of like Sidney Brown that covers up everything that you do, right? And there's only so much that Johnny Newton, like there's something about being a guy in the back 7 that can cover up a whole lot more. And having a safety like Matthew Bailey, who's a phenomenal tackler, phenomenal blitzer, more than adequate in pass coverage, just has instincts off the chart. Like, it could be, yes, I think that Matthew Bailey's presence can make a difference in the game.
We're not talking. Don't look in the chat right now.
I already did. I already saw it.
Okay. Chris, I guess we should have announced this.
Guys, I DVR all the important games when I go on the podcast, so I'll watch them later. It's all good. Especially when I don't have to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, it's all good.
Well, just so you know.
Fade the deuce.
Fade the deuce. Yeah, USC scored a touchdown in the last 10 seconds. That'll be fun.
You didn't need to go ahead and tell me all that. Jeez Louise. Now.
I'm not explaining how it got to that point, but when I looked, I just saw.
I don't want to go watch it. Well, who won Atlanta, Philadelphia now? I don't even need to watch that either.
Yeah, go ahead and say, hey, there's a big number.
Stop.
You just announced it, Kevin. Don't announce the Philly baseball score. Please do not do it. All right. But
my Cubs are in the hunt. Where's Sean Garner at?
Hey, Cardinals 2 in a row in Yankee Stadium. Where you at, Sean? Where you at? Put 21 hits today on the Yankees in Yankee Stadium.
The Cubs have scored 99 runs in the last 9 games.
I know. Even though it's too little, too late for the Cardinals, but it's just nice to take a series in Yankee Stadium. Now, obviously Jalen Daniels. I wanted to key players for Kansas. Devin Neal is their running back. Okay,
really good.
Very good. Very, very good runner. Had a good game last year. Was hoping he was going to leave and go pro. He came back. And just he's I think he'd be like a guy who'd be in the Big Ten, be like a third team all Big Ten type running back. Very good. I'm not going to sit here and say Illinois doesn't have good backs too. In their wide receiving core, they brought most of them back, but Luke Graham is going to be their target. That Daniels hit him for like a 60-yard touchdown against Lindenwood. He was on the money with that pass. Graham is their back, a go-to wide out that they like to throw to, deep ball, sideline stuff. But I think you can get a few stops in there and fluster them. And you grind some out and you get points. I think that's how you frustrate Kansas, because they want to be out there. They want to be on the field as long as they can. But when they're sitting on the sidelines, Daniels is ineffective. So I think there's a lot going into play that can go. And again, I want everybody to know this. We're gonna keep tabs on some of our picks. This is not spread. This is just straight up. We're not doing orange and blue sunglasses here, as some people think. I will not pick Illinois every game because I don't believe they'll win every game. So, Kevin, I'll let you pick first. What do you see happening Saturday night, 6 p.m., FS1?
I see Illinois getting out early, taking a lead, going to halftime with a little bit of a lead, and Kansas's offense storming back and Illinois losing 34-31 on a last-second field goal.
I like it. We're gonna jinx this. I like it.
You like us? You like me picking us to lose? Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're jinxing this. I like it because I don't think that's what you really think. I know Kevin, but it's all right. Just like I told you guys, he was going to be bullish and pick Illinois to win, get to a bowl eventually. I think it's something similar in the way it gets to that point, but I think Illinois wins this one. I'm gonna say 31-28 Illinois. And I don't know if it's a last-second field goal or a last-minute stand defensively.
I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, 31-28. I got Illinois winning, and propelling them to an undefeated matchup. Yes, I'm bypassing Central Michigan. There's no Connor Stallions on the sideline for them this time. I'm bypassing Central Michigan for a 3-0 match with Nebraska in a few weeks on a Friday night. Who, by the way, Nebraska looked good against UTEP.
Yeah, dude, their running backs look like they're shot out of a cannon. Like, they're fast.
Yeah.
And Raiola was really good.
Yeah, I saw enough there defensively for Illinois that I think they can move the ball. Also, UTEP not good defensively. So, but it was. I was wanting to see how Raiola would handle the moment. He threw some dimes, a couple of dimes. But yeah,
he's solid. You got to hit him in the mouth. You got to hit him. You got to shake him up.
And in high school. This Colorado game will be fun to watch the replay of because it's going on at the same time Illinois.
Same exact time. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what I got. Illinois by 3. Kevin's got Kansas breaking our hearts. Ugh, that would be terrible. Now, get Jay Bain. You agree? He thinks Illinois team's hungry. And I'm telling you guys, Brett, don't let them forget. He ain't gonna let them forget last year. And he probably put that halftime score up all week.
He's 0-3 against Purdue, so he can stop forgetting about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, true. But Ryan Walters coming back to Champaign hasn't happened yet, so it is now.
Ryan Walters coaching in West Lafayette certainly happened 44-19. So
yes.
Until Brett beats Purdue, I need to stop hearing this. He remembers shit.
Okay. Well, hey, it starts with Kansas.
I'm sick of losing to Purdue.
I'm sick of losing to Purdue on every sport. Now, really quickly here, before we get to final thoughts.
Wait a second. Purdue beat us twice in basketball last year. Once, I don't know. Who gives a shit? Once in our place. That team was a runner-up for a national championship. I don't care. Their football team beat us. They went 4-8. I do care about that. I kept us out of a bowl game. There's a big difference between losing to Purdue in football and Purdue in basketball. Okay, big difference.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying we haven't beat them in a while in basketball either.
No,
and we've both been pretty good.
We're gonna spank their ass this year.
So let's transition that from spanking ass to basketball, which we happen to be pretty good at the moment, and probably even for a long time now with Brad Underwood at the helm. They're going to have another 2025 international prospect on campus next weekend for the Kansas game. So we already know how they've been knocking it out of the park. Kasparis Jasionis, big Tomislava Visic. It's endless. The list can keep going. But he is from Australia. Okay. His name is Jacob Furphy. He is not related to Johnny Furphy from Kansas. No relation. He's from Tasmania, this Furphy here. He's 6'4.5", 6'5", very Kasparis-ish, but not as maybe not as athletic. But I think he's even a better competitor, a better leader, maybe even better IQ. He's not, I would say, on the same level passing wise and athleticism, but there are highlights of him out here if anybody's interested in him. But the staff loves him. From the NBA Global Academy, he's been MVPs in several of those tournaments. And if anybody wants to know, well, what the hell does that even mean? Okay. That means that these global academies, they hold camps and games against some teams from the United States, like the MoCon Elite, who have high-level AAU players. They go to these camps from all across the country. The best AAU teams, they go to these global NBA global camps, and they compete against each other. So that means these guys are playing against top 50 to 100 recruits who are going, in the United States. He was the MVP of a couple of these camps. Like when, and if you look at, is it Jonathan Givnoy?
Yep.
For NBA Draft Express, I believe, has a couple of tweets about who was a player that stood out for him at some of these camps. It was Jacob Furphy. And that gives you guys some maybe reading material to go look up. Also some YouTube clips of him. Like he's 6'5", 210 pounds. He's just a dog. He's an everyday guy, and that's why. Left-hander. That's why the staff likes him a lot. He is visiting UConn first. Okay, and let me tell you, that's tough competition. But I was told it's tight. I'm told that Illinois is right there in there, and that Illinois is getting the last official visit. So he's going to Storrs, Connecticut in the middle of this week, or Hartford, wherever it is. Hartford, yeah. And we'll be in Champaign September 6th through the 8th to watch the Kansas game and just see the atmosphere and see the campus, see everything that Illinois is building right now. And I was told that it's tight. It's not just, well, UConn's won 2 national championships in a row, and you're going to fit right in there, and that Illinois doesn't have a chance. It's not a courtesy visit. He's coming all the way to the United States to see the schools that he's really interested in, and that's what's going on right now.
I love it. And like Ryan, you were talking to me before the show started, and I never even heard of this kid, and you got the details and downloads about him. And so I've been doing some research, like just while you were talking tonight, but before we jumped on the show. So I agree with what Nathan Durst says, is that basketball recruiting is off the chain right now. I really be exciting to see what Illinois does from a recruiting standpoint when and granted, this is my bias, but I think that Illinois might have one of those scrimmages on October 19th before the Michigan game where you can go see some folks. We're obviously got some big name visitors coming in this weekend. J.C. Anderson's coming in. Cameron Wagner was in. I talked to Cameron Wagner from St. Joe, 2027 kid who's getting like 4-star, 5-star love. Illinois got a huge recruiting weekend coming up this weekend for football. Winning this game against Kansas would be huge. Having a great turnout would be huge. So if you have it in your power, please get out and come see the team.
100%. 100%. The weather's going to be so beautiful for Kansas, man. Like, I just don't know how you can't.
I'm so jealous, dude. I'm sitting there sweating my butt off in Oklahoma.
Oh, my gosh. You'll change that in October, though. It'll be nice and chilly for you here.
I'm going to be in the east balcony. I'll be freezing my tail off, was my guess. So,
and so have you got the tickets thing worked out for that yet?
Yep. Got all 10 of them.
Awesome. Up in the east balcony. Okay. Yep. Guess what? They cheer and get loud up there, too.
I love the east balcony, dude. I'm not afraid of it, dude.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the balcony, man.
I've had a couple season tickets in the east balcony, so it's okay.
All right. So, final thoughts. I will start, and here it is. It's pretty simple. Show up for Kansas. Can you do that? I think you can. What else is going on next weekend? Anybody? You got anything? And if you happen to have anything next Saturday evening, unless it's like your child's game or something, I think there's a big game going on in Champaign you're going to want to be at. So I'm not trying to preach, okay? But listen, at least I'm following what I'm saying. So I can only do my part. I think for your sake and your Illini fandom, though, if you live within 3 or 4 hours of Champaign, 3, go. It'll be fun. I don't think you'll regret it. I don't think I've ever met anyone that went to a big game where they won and said, "Damn, I had to drive. Oh man, I got to drive home now." You know, they're going to be talking about that the whole way.
Dude, I don't regret driving to Columbus to see Matt Sylvester hit a shot to beat the 04-05 Illini in our only regular season loss. I don't regret. That was an amazing experience. I don't regret it.
So if you can go, please show up this weekend. If it's not sold out, it's not. But we can get 55,000 in there. We can do it.
It doesn't. Okay. Yeah, what is capacity? Is it right
60, at 60? 60, yeah. We had 60 for North Carolina and Lovey. Come on, you guys. Like, we can do it.
I've been part of a crowd that had 78. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, come to the game and get some Jarlins before, yeah.
Get some Porgies. Hey, listen. Get some Porgies. Little Porgies is the best damn barbecue sauce in the land. Get some little Porgies. Get yourself some little Porgies in Champaign-Urbana.
Justin, the last time Illinois beat a top 20 team at home was Wisconsin and the Lovie Smith's year that they made the bowl game.
Yeah, absolutely. The 30-point underdog.
Yeah, Wisconsin they were like number 6 or something that game.
Yeah, they were being talked about as a potential national championship team.
But then before that, it was
Arizona State.
It was 2011 Arizona State that had Burfict, and it had Brock Osweiler as their quarterback. Yeah.
We had Jonathan Brown, my guy, 45.
And let me tell you what, this game has a very similar feel to that Arizona State game.
Yeah, but offense is maybe better than the defense as opposed to the other way around.
And it's a night game, right?
It was a night game too.
Can Illinois get that a ranked win at home, catapult you? Remember, Illinois started 6-0 that year. So,
hey, you want my final thought, Ryan?
I do want your final thought.
Get your ass in the stadium.
Whoa, that's my final thought.
It's mine too. And mine's not so much. Hey, listen. If you can make it, go. My bigger problem is this, dude, and I'm talking to a lot of my homeboys out there. If you're sitting in lot 31 or Grange Grove or lot 45 or lot 32 and you're drinking some beers with your buddies on Saturday afternoons, early Saturday evening, and you're not sure whether or not you're going to go to the game, go to the game. It is there's nothing more disheartening for me when I talk to people about Illinois football on a grander scale. It'll be like, dude, we'll have 100,000 people tailgate and 35,000 to show up for a game. I'm like, how is that even possible? I'm like, because there's 65,000 people sitting in their tailgate spot drinking beer during the game.
Yeah,
and we all know it's true. Like, we have the best tailgate environment in the country. Go to the game. Go to the game. If Illinois is within a score by the end of the first half, stick around for the second half. If they're not, go home. I don't care. That's on you. Just get your butt in the stadium. Go pull for the Illini. They deserve it. You can't constantly complain that we don't have a good product on the field if you don't go support the product. This is a decent product, right? Are they a national championship contender? No. Are they a Big Ten title contender? No. Is this a bowl team? Yeah, a couple breaks go our way, and how sometimes some of those breaks are getting a false start on 2nd and 10 because the stadium's loud, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 15, and then they're abandoning concepts or making it 3rd and 15. They throw an interception and change the entire. There's a reason home field matters in football, and make it matter. Make it matter. Get your butt in the stands. Oh, and one last thing, Scotty Scheffler's pretty awesome.
Oh, okay. I can dig it. So I knew we'd get a little golf in there. I knew it.
He just won the FedEx Championship. He literally won the most important tournaments, in my opinion. He won the Masters. He won the Olympics. He won the FedEx Championship. Americans continue to sweep. President's Cup in a month is pretty cool. So, but yeah, again, build the culture. And you can sometimes you got to start with us. Get your butt in the stands.
Coming from a former Block Eye alumnus of last year's first game of the season, Toledo, I was proud of us. You guys showed up against Eastern. It was full, and you did all the damn card stunts just like I did. And let me tell you, you get in there and you hold those orange cards up. You hold the white ones, the blue ones, and when they're yelling at you and blowing those whistles and saying, no, the other one, just do it. And
I'm hearing we're hitting ILL, INI for every first down.
Yeah, so every time there's a first down, there's a 6-yard gain for the Illini, another first down, ILL, and everybody's INI.
I like it. Yeah.
Gene Honda, gotta love it. So with that said, we've got Fade the Deuce Tuesday night. So between this and enjoying your Labor Day, Fade the Deuce.
Buy some tickets.
Buy tickets. Show up Saturday. You can do it. We believe in you. Swap me out.
ILL.
INI.